They really did have,
Okay, I think
and
we're
all. We're here.
started. I think we're ready to
We're
go
we're
here on
live.
our ninth
Totally.
podcast.
Live.
Woohoo! The EU EdTech Weekly Roundup. And as you can tell, Brian is not here today. Smooth Talking Brian is on his way to the UK. So today we
Mhm.
have a different cast of characters, and we'll all introduce ourselves. So I'll start off. My name's Kevin Sheely. I'm the ET ISS at Europe Central, and I'll hand it over to Chad.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Chad. I'm the new District ISS ET over at Europe South, located in Naples, Italy. And Radley, are you in here? There you
Yes,
are.
I am in here. I am Radley, and I am the ETISS here at the Europe Region Office for the Center for Instructional Leadership.
And you're back.
And I'm back.
Back after
No more,
furlough. No more furlough.
After
no more furlough.
awesome.
And
Lindsay.
All right, and I'm Lindsey McDowell, and I am the ISS for secondary math in Europe South.
And I'm Laura Parks coming at you from Vincenza, also the secondary math ISS in Europe South, partnering with Lindsay.
And you may be wondering why we have math ISSs here today. We have some guests who are going to be sharing information about DESMOS, which is an awesome resource for students. So I'm not going to just say math students because it has broader applications, but it's super engaging, and I'm looking forward to hearing that in a little bit. But we're going to start off now with news and updates for the week.
yes, we have some updates. This just came out this morning, so I don't know if everybody's checked your emails yet, but from our IT division, a couple updates on Copilot. They have said that they are going to no longer allow third-party Copilot agents. So these were like things that you could add on to Copilot to kind of help direct, your way that you were trying to search or find things or interact with Copilot. So just FYI, but that sounds like they are going to
Mhm.
look at creating some agents within the agency, within the DoDEA agency. So maybe like a super smart person that knows everything about math, and we could use that agent to interact with to help us with creating lesson plans, creating assessments, things like that. So it sounds like there's more to
They're
come.
using.
So just be
Is it my
aware and look out for
Yeah,
that in
favorite
and
kind?
Copilot.
and I'll just throw in there,
Yeah.
we have Gemini
So
gems.
yeah,
Yes.
Gemini gems are basically the
without
same thing.
eating.
And basically what an agent is, for those of you that aren't aware, it's kind of like a saved chat prompt, okay? AI chat prompt. So instead of having to redo the prompt every time, you can create an agent or you can create a gem, and then each time you want to use it, you can throw the stuff in there, and it will you don't have to retype the whole prompt.
Yep.
It's what I do for the Tech Talk summaries, the four takeaways each after each Tech Talk that you may see in the EU EdTech channels, that kind of highlight the top takeaways. I created a Gemini gem for that, so I just have to throw in the transcript, and then it spits out those four things. Of course, you have to always check, make sure, because sometimes it throws things in there that aren't really accurate. But just throwing that out there. So
Yeah, the agents are great. I actually made an agent just for
But it was like a.
PCSing here to
I was
Naples. I
hiding.
made an agent through all of the documentation that is kind of given to us from Chara, threw it all in there, and I use that agent to kind of help guide me on how to fill out forms, how to find, what is my TQSA rate, all of that stuff. So it was very helpful in the whole process of not having to call somebody every day to ask them, what do we do now?
yeah, and you must have done it accurately because you ended up in the right
I
location.
made it
Yeah,
I
here.
mean,
you
I
made
made
it.
it.
You made it to Naples.
you're not in Cuba,
Yes,
and so
yes.
that's good.
So I kind of call it my thought partner. All these different AIs are kind of my thought partner just to kind of help me, you know, organize the thoughts in my head.
Absolutely.
Also, there was an update about Copilot. I know there was some people noticing that students had access to Copilot. There was an update, and it will be effective by November 25th, that students will no longer have access to Copilot. I'm not sure where they are with
It's
ChatGPT. I
on
know that they were
Etsy.
testing that out to make
Promo
sure that
version.
is blocked to students to
Well,
align
you sh-
with our chief information officer's information on artificial intelligence access for students. So I know they
Oh,
are working
I
on
have
that, but no, first the Copilot will become blocked for students. If it does become blocked for you as a teacher, they said, put in a ticket. That might be something that they have to do in the background. But by November 25th, that should be fixed. So yeah, that's the updates from our IT. I think Radley has a couple more updates that you can, as an individual with an organization, become part of in the Dodia IT realm.
Yes. So thank you, Chad. So I'm going to be putting on my recruiting hat. So I am Radley, the recruiter, using a little bit of alliteration for you today. So IT has created a pre-deployment group to help make a significant impact on the deployment of software updates. And then, so for those of you that are early adopters and eager to try to test things and then be able to give feedback to our wonderful partners in IT for and to preview upcoming tech changes, we need you to, we'd like you and would like to ask you to join the pre-deployment group because you help them and us identify potential impacts on operations before we deploy things enterprise wide.
Yeah,
And if
become
you are
become a guinea pig, right?
guinea pig, yes.
Yeah.
And us ETs, we love being guinea pigs. So
Oh,
we're gonna be part of
absolutely.
this group. So
Yeah,
I'm
no, we have.
always trying the latest thing to see how I can break it.
Yeah.
yes, my computer's been re-imaged more times than the average person, I think.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely.
And then, so if you are interested in this, just contact your district ET and they can guide you and point you into the direction. And if you have any questions or want more info on it, your district ET can also help you. And then the other program that IT has created for us is uh, I feel like I should have some kind of sound effect here, was like shield the mission, become a cyber warrior. So IT has developed this cyber warrior program and cyber warrior challenge. Sorry, and season one for the school year starts now, and it's in full swing. So there's an opportunity to join this, and it's just to level up your skill and knowledge on cybersecurity, like proper safe practices, like as we navigate working in this technological world that we're living in. So season one will conclude December 12th at 6 p.m. So please sign up today for a chance to dominate the leaderboard. So if you love games and you love things that are gamified, join the Cyber Warrior Challenge. Um, and if you have questions on this, I know some emails came out about this, so check your emails. And then also, district ETs can also point you into the right direction. So, and then next will be Chad. Chad has something else to share
Yeah,
with you
yeah.
too.
I don't know if you've noticed your within your school team, you notice you always have these two, maybe one channel or two channels, depending on your grade level. But inside of your teams for every school, you'll see a channel called EU Ed Tech. And in that channel, we share information to you to kind of show you what the latest thing is coming out. This podcast will come out for you there, and also our Tech Talks kind of weekly what's coming, summaries from every week. So make sure you check out that EU Ed Tech channel. It's located within your school's team. But recently, we had someone from the Pacific share with us a Google Doc and slides that is like a how-to for students. So if you're, kind of worried about trying to teach students how to use various Google Docs, like with sharing docs, working in collaboration, how to do a screenshot on there, Chromebook, lots of kind of tech assistance. This is a great slide that you could share to your students. You could put it in your Google Classroom for students access. You could put it up on the smart board. But it's a great kind of how to it's focused for students on showing them how to get better use out of using all the Google Docs, but also their Chromebook as well. So I highly suggest that you go to your EU EdTech channel within your school, take a look at that, make a copy of it, save it for yourself, share it with your students. It will be a really good use, and we're always developing it. So save that link, and we'll add to it as we move on.
Yeah, and so the EdTech channel is also a great place if you have questions or things come up that you can post in there. So it's not just you're not just receiving information. We also depend. That's kind of our conduit to directly between all the district ETs and the teachers, so that we don't have to go through multiple levels. We can talk directly with you, respond directly with you. So feel free to post in there if you have questions or you have things to share. That's kind of our direct connection with you. So check it often. You can tell whether there's something posted in there. It'll be bold, so check it regularly.
And turn on the notifications. Turn them
Yeah.
on.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
The
turn on the
notifications.
notification so you get an email and a little like red.
Just what you need. More email.
But
The
you get,
more.
you know,
Yeah.
just a way to know when things are coming in, because sometimes we
Oh,
miss those little bold things on
yeah,
our team.
absolutely. Or it can be a little overwhelming if you have,
Yeah.
45 teams like I do. All right. I think we're now ready for our guests today who are going to be sharing about Desmos. And so I'll hand it over. I'll hand it over to Lindsey and Laura, the LL connection.
We're the L squared of
L
the Europe
Yeah.
squared.
South.
Oh,
Should have.
That is
oh
Oh,
my.
I missed
Maddie.
that. I
More
should have.
alliteration.
I should have done that too. Gee. Okay, L squared. Here we go.
We're used to getting mixed up with each other. So, yeah, we're super glad to be here with you guys today and to share a little bit about Desmos practically, but then some of the really cool things I think that you can do in the classroom as well if you want to kind of level up. We don't have any challenges in live right now, but we did do a PSAT Desmos challenge in Europe South with Desmos to help get students ready for using Desmos on the PSAT assessment. So that's one of the things we wanted to talk about and make sure everyone knew is that Desmos is now embedded in all of our assessments that students take at the end of, or not even at the end of the school year, but as their summative assessment. It's in the PSATs, it's in the SAT. It is also in all of our AP exams. AP Statistics went live with it this year, so they're constantly adding features, and it is embedded really past 8th grade. At starting in the middle school levels on our DCAS assessments, they're still using a more basic calculator in 6th and 7th grade. So knowing that it's in all of those assessments is really important that we're preparing students to use it. And
And you said, I think I saw something come out that said that it is its own app. Like, does it sit by itself as well, or is it just embedded?
yeah, go for it, Lindsay.
So it it can be on the Chromebooks as its own app. It is also a
Okay.
web app that like you can go to. So if you just go to
Okay.
desmos.com, students can find it there. And then for testing itself, it is embedded in the testing program.
I see.
So there are a couple of different places that you can access it.
Yes,
Yeah, and yeah, go ahead.
Chad, what you're talking about, we just got added, and the shutdown held us up a little bit, but we're super excited that it's now added as a kiosk app on the
Okay, good.
Chromebook, and we've checked it with other districts in Europe, so we think we do think it's across all Chromebooks for students. So when they're logged out of their Chromebook, if they go to the bottom corner and they click apps, they should see a Desmos test app there. And where that's really great to use is if you want students to be able to use Desmos while they're taking an in-class assessment, but you want to make sure it's secure. So some of our teachers, which we totally understand, I would be the same way of, worried about letting students use a Chromebook during a test in class. And so it keeps them from going to other windows. It locks them into using that Desmos calculator.
So it's kind of like with the TI calculator. It's kind of like an alternate to if my classroom doesn't have enough TI calculators, I could use the Desmos app kind of as an assessment or during class, and it would lock them away from all the other things, but kind of lock them down to just using that as a calculator.
Yes, Chad. And
Okay.
I want to emphasize that like that is one case of like you don't have enough TIs, but you can use this instead of TIs if you want to get kids used to using these calculators because this is what's going to be on all of their summative assessments, 8 through
Okay.
12. So,
Yeah, and I would say, with Desmos, there's a lot more you can do with Desmos besides just the calculator. And I would encourage teachers to actually go in and look at Desmos because the more comfortable kids are with using Desmos, even if it's not the calculator, but just they have positive interactions with Desmos. When they see the calculator, it'll be like, oh, this is great. They'll have a positive mind frame, and of course, that's what you want when they're taking tests. And so
Absolutely.
during Tech Talks 5, we had a former secondary math ISS, and it was Eric Jones. He now is at Garmisch, but he did a great session in Tech Talks 5 on using Desmos, the interactive elements of Desmos to really engage students. And so you can check out that. You can go back to, we have all the Tech Talks saved, but it's in Tech Talks 5. Go back. It was I remember it. It was very interactive, but there are a lot of interactive modeling and where kids test things out and can see graphs change and so forth as they change the variables. Really impressive stuff. And so I'd urge math teachers to engage kids in using those types of modeling tools. And then again, they get that positive association with Desmos. And then when they, if they use the calculator and become familiar with it, when they're doing a test, it can only benefit them. So,
And I
Yeah,
think
and
that's a good plug because we're in season 7 now of Tech Talks, and we might need an update. So
yeah,
Laura and Lindsay, I'm
yeah.
putting you on the spot.
I
We
was
might need
Yeah,
gonna
a
say,
you
Kevin,
have to go watch that one. Go watch
there.
no
the 5
pressure.
one. And I know we did the marble thing. Where the
Yep.
marbles
marble
are. Yeah,
slides.
yes.
Yes.
I mean, that was like got everybody hooked. But we had all the participants doing that. That was awesome. It was so
So,
fun.
Kevin, I think you bring up a good point. So there's a couple of layers, and I will also say that Desmos. I know Tech Talk 5 was what 2 years ago. Like so much
Yeah.
is changing. It's even from a year ago. It's added new features this
Okay.
year. Um, so I do. Yeah, we have talked about an update. So don't worry. We'll get back to you about a new
Okay.
Tech Talk.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna hold
um,
you to that because we're definitely looking for people to provide sessions. So
Yeah, but there are kind of two sides of it. So there's this more calculator side of Desmos, and there is the algebraic calculator, which we're used to, like the TI-84 handheld calculators. There is also a geometry calculator, which is similar to another tool like GeoGebra. And then there's this side that used to be called Desmos Activities, and now over the summer, Amplify is another company that bought that side. So our teachers are also we have kind of called all of those things Desmos and lumped them all together, but they
yes.
are they are a little bit different. So the Amplify and the old Desmos classroom activities are still there. Teachers can still use those. We work to get them reapproved over the summer. We had a little hiccup at the beginning of the school year where with the changeover, but we're
Yes.
live and running with that now. But all of them are a great way to get kids doing that modeling, figuring out the visualization, having them um, do a lot of the thinking and the reasoning themselves, which is really what we want in our math classrooms is our students using the tools that we have to explore and come up with their own reasoning for why things are the way that they are.
I had a question about you said most of the high school assessments have Desmos kind of included. What do you see kind of potential for middle school classes and I don't know, upper level elementary? Is there any applications that would be useful for math classes at those levels?
I definitely think there are great learning opportunities with Desmos.
Okay.
So in our middle school classes, they are starting to experiment with graphing and
Right, right.
plotting points and, you know, graphing lines. And so all of that, Desmos is a great tool for exploring and checking.
Yes.
At the moment, it's just that Desmos isn't embedded into the DCAS.
Right. Right,
Yeah.
right.
And
But
I
like
think, Kevin, like some of those activities you mentioned are really
Yeah.
great for our younger grades because a lot of those deal they're not necessarily dealing with graphing in the coordinate plane. It is really getting at building the conceptual
Yeah,
understanding at those lower
absolutely.
grades.
Yeah,
So
and seeing and using different models and seeing different things in action and seeing how the graphs change as you change the variables. I think if you can visualize and use a variety of different models, because even in Lumio we have some math modeling applications and like the FET and so forth. So again, variety of different experiences for students. You never know really where the aha is gonna come. So you want to provide students with a whole variety of different experiences, and Desmos and Lumio and all the tools that we have is a way to do that
and
because you
maybe
don't
a
know what's gonna stick.
little known
Yeah,
fact, but you can actually embed a Desmos calculator into your Lumio presentation. So
awesome.
it
Oh,
is
that's
in there. When you
awesome.
add a new page, you can link it to
You
Desmos.
gotta try that out.
Add a sound effect
Okay.
there. We need a sound effect
I
for
know
that.
we need like some
Absolutely.
Yeah.
sound effect
You're
things.
gonna,
So,
yeah. I'll try. I don't know. This is gonna be my first
but
time editing together the podcast, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
yeah,
All
I
right.
think like
So
what
thanks so much, Laura and Lindsay. I really appreciate you joining us today and providing the insights and that overview of Desmos. Very important. So
yeah,
thanks so
that sounds
much.
like it's the most awesome graphing tool, modeling,
Desmos.
visual, mathematical tool ever.
I
All
was
right.
trying to come up with some math jokes, but you just
All
beat
right.
me
Maybe
at
you
it.
should go back on furlough, Radley.
I'm muting now. I'm muting now.
Okay, so we're going to move on now. We're to our Tech Talk recap section. So, Tech Talk recaps. This week, it was primarily focused on elementary. On Tuesday, we talked or looked at formative assessment with Seesaw and Wixie. Seesaw is for grades K through 5, and Wixie is PK through 6th grade. So it does have that little bit of a middle school connection there. But really, where we're looking at just the wide range of learning activities and actually with Seesaw now AI, it is amazing. You can take any kind of worksheet that you have, you can put it into Seesaw, and it will create Seesaw activities from the worksheet. Like drag and drop. It just converts it right into a Seesaw activity, interactive Seesaw activity. So and that's just from a worksheet. So great for learning centers and things like that. But there's also lots of templates in there. And that was on Thursday, just yesterday. We looked at the same tools, Seesaw, Wixie, and we also added Lumio. And we were looking at, the templates available, already pre-created yeah, or, both by the company, by Seesaw or by Wixie, but also crowdsource. So lots of teachers that have already created activities, and as a teacher, you can grab those in Seesaw and Wixie and Lumio, and then you can modify them to meet your needs. So it was pretty exciting to teachers were able to have some time to go look for templates and see how they would, they could use those. And I'd encourage teachers to, you can go back to the Tech Talk and look at the summary notes, and kind of get an idea. You can go to certain parts in the Tech Talks recordings. You can watch them all again if you want. But again, very useful tools. Seesaw is great for differentiation. I mean, it's probably one of our top tools. And honestly, I think Seesaw for elementary, Seesaw, Wixie are probably the best tools to use because they involve kids can add recordings and explain their thinking. Okay, with everything, with any kind of activity they do in Seesaw or Wixie, you can add an element where they have to talk about what they did. They can take a picture of work that they've done, maybe a worksheet even. They could take a picture of it. Then they can add a recording and explain what they did, what they understand, and really get at the thinking. So when we talk about discourse, that really is about kids verbalizing their learning, verbalizing what they know, what they understand, the connections that they make. So pretty
And
exciting
Kevin,
stuff.
I
Yeah,
was
go
gonna
ahead.
say with Wixie and Seesaw, I know at the elementary level when I was ET at the elementary level, we use speaking of math today with the math kind of hat on today. We did use Wixie and Seesaw a lot for a lot of the math learning centers at the elementary level, especially using Wixie, and we created like shared Wixie files that students could collaborate on, and a student could or teacher could make pre-made problems, share them with small groups, and students could visually use Wixie to kind of solve out some of their problems. So I saw a lot of great applications in math, especially for those lower grade levels as a center in both Wixie and Seesaw. So I just want to throw that out there because it was really incredible to see.
Yeah, and actually, Seesaw has some lots of ready-made, kind of lesson sequences, and as part of those is it's often partner activities. So it's not just you think of Seesaw, it's only the kid working by themselves. No, they actually have built-in activities where two kids have to work together, and the Seesaw activity itself describes what they need to do as a partner team, and the how they interact with each other, and then they each of them share their reflections of that interaction. So you talk about discourse, it really does support and um, and add to that discourse. It's not just turn and talk, but they actually have to reflect on their our discussions afterwards. So yeah, definitely take a look. Also, so the AI stuff is really exciting. With Seesaw, you have automatically graded or automatically scored, and it collects the scores for the teacher of like drag and drop activities, fill in the blank activities, of course the multiple choice tests. That's automatic grading. We've had that, but one of the other exciting things is reading fluency, where the teacher can put in a passage that the students have to read. They can practice, then they record themselves, and AI will give feedback to the teacher on how the students did in terms of their fluency, how accurate they were, how many words they missed, which words they missed, and the teacher can take and look at that data, and then it can really, you talk about formative assessment, can really help um, determine what the next steps are to support that student
Yeah, that one I really
with
want to
reading.
see. I want to
Yeah,
go. I
it's
want to go to a
amazing.
classroom and
It
see
is
that one now.
amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is amazing. So that's the Tech Talk recap. Just throwing out there. Next week we are not going to have Tech Talks because figured on Tuesday after school. I don't know how many teachers are going to be around and willing to attend Tech Talks since Wednesday is the start of a school holiday and then Thanksgiving, of course. So we'll not have Tech Talks next week, but the following week we'll start back up, and we're going to be looking at that time at formative assessments for kind of with a secondary focus, but it'll also relate to elementary because we're talking about Pear Deck, Lumio again, and some other tools, really about formative assessment. And then after that, we'll be going into kind of a more intensive look at Adobe Creative Cloud Express. And so actually, using Adobe Express. Because it is a very flexible tool. And actually, that came from Tech Talk participants who provided feedback on what they wanted, and they wanted more time to look at Adobe Express and the kind of some specific tools of how to create a video, how to do those things. So we're going to give teachers a chance to be the students and learn that stuff. So then, as if you experience it as a student, you're probably more apt to use it as a teacher with your own students. So
Yeah,
that's going to be fun.
especially those of us that were so Canva heavy people.
Yes,
switching over to Adobe
I
Express
know
was
it's been
was
hard.
hard. It was a
Yes.
hard transition, but I've actually found it very useful, and I've used it all the time now. So it was a transition. I think it was more of a mentally transition that I didn't want to switch over. But once I did, I found some amazing applications to use for myself, but also with the students in schools. So it is very useful. So I look forward to that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, and I always learn something new. Even though if you think you've mastered it, it's amazing. Every time I do a tech talk, I learn something new. So, or attend a tech talk. So, we're looking forward to those. Okay, final section is, and unfortunately, Amanda's not here, and there's no way I can replace Amanda with glitters and glitches.
Sound effect.
Yeah, I know. I definitely need to do some voice modification or something, but or excitement levels for sure. But sorry, Amanda, I'm not going to do it justice for sure. But anyway, uh, glitters and glitches. So in terms of glitches, actually last week was pretty or this week was pretty calm. We did have some college board issues at the start of the week, and of course, I'm sure. If you're like me, you probably had your pay messed up. and
Yes.
and so we just got an email this morning that talks about what the next steps are and how you can notify DFAS of pay irregularities. I think it's interesting that when the government messes up pay, it's always they don't give you enough money. It's not they don't give you too much. It's not in our favor when they mess up.
Although
It's always
I think I got too much, so I'll be
you
looking
did.
for
Wow.
for my
Oh my
letter.
gosh.
I'll be waiting for my debt letter. It's okay. Just a small
Okay.
glitch, a little glitch
But
there.
you're not going to let them know. You're not going to
Oh,
let them know.
I've already followed the steps, put in my pay inquiry.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, I didn't get the extra. That's for sure.
Did you use an AI agent to help you with that, Chad?
I did
Yeah.
not. I did not. I did it all by myself. Me and Radley were former math teachers, so we worked
Yes.
through it.
Yeah. Anyway, so that came out. So that's the glitches. In terms of glitters, I'll just throw this out. Gemini Pro 3. That's kind of the next rendition of the AI brains, I guess you could say. It just dropped. It just came online, and it is available. You can in the chat prompt that you get for Gemini in the lower right hand corner, there's a little drop down that you can select Gemini Pro 3, which is the smarter brain for the AI, and it does apparently does advanced reasoning. It has expanded multimodal understanding, and of course you know what that means. I didn't really. I mean, I know a multimodal in terms of modalities for students means kids that maybe are better auditory learners or visual learners, so forth. Well, with AI, that multimodal understanding means that the engine can take information from lots of different avenues or sources. So from Excel sheets to visual information to audio information, and process it. And so um, pretty exciting stuff. I mean, if you think about cars that run by themselves or that drive by themselves, they need to have that because they need to take in lots of different information, visual information, auditory information, road condition information, all these kinds of car information, all that stuff. So anyway, pretty exciting. I don't know. I'm waiting for. I'm not sure if it cooks for you yet or if it cleans your house. I'm hoping those things are on the way. But
Yes.
we'll see. Yeah,
Hopefully one
we'll
day.
see. Yeah, we'll see.
Fold my laundry.
Yeah, useful stuff.
Useful things.
But check it out for sure. You can with the drop down, you can select it and you can see if it makes any difference. With a prompt that you have in Gemini. But anyway, so anything else, you folks? Anything else?
I think that sums up everything that I've seen come across.
Oh, I did know. I did find that Google Skills. If you look at the Google Skills, it's now accessible to Dodia users, and it really it provides free training and certification for Google Cloud resources. It's called Google Skills. You can you know uh, uh, do a search for it, but it's apparently available for Dodia users, and I will post something in the EU EdTech channels about that. How's that?
Yay.
All right. Well, I think we're about there. So,
I think we did it all. And I say this is kind of we're on our trajectory with this podcast. This is our second podcast with guests.
yes,
So we're making our way out there.
and and
And
and
and
and
I'm
Laura
happy I'm
and
able to
Lindsay.
finally
I don't
join.
know,
And
Laura.
Radley joined. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Out of
Laura and
furlough.
Lindsey set the bar pretty high. I don't know if you scared off the next guest
I
because
know.
you did really well, and really appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you, L
Yes,
squared.
thank you.
Yeah.
Hell
We're glad to
squared.
be here. We're waiting
Yes.
for this to go viral, just for the
Yeah,
record.
there we
So
go.
This is the episode. This is the
this
one.
is the
This
one.
is the one. This
Well,
is the one.
all 9 subscribers will really like it.
Yes.
No, we need to share it far and wide. So if you're listening, please share it with your friends and family and your colleagues, of course. Let them know. And again, we start small and and hopefully we'll build up. But we do appreciate this opportunity to chat, and we'll look forward. We probably will not have a podcast next week though, because everybody's be gone. So we'll take a break next week, and then we'll be back the week after that. So. All right.
All right. Thank you. Have
right.
fun
Yep.
with technology.
Yeah.
Bye.
As Amanda would say, tech to you later.
Talk to you later.
Back to you later.
Okay.